New movie alert. There's a new movie out called After Death. I didn't know anything about it going in, but I saw it today. All I knew was that it was made by Angel Studios and that it has to do with people dying and then coming back. Called an NDE, near death experience. Apparently, there's only been like two other films ever made based on NDEs, so that's kind of interesting. So it was a good movie. Um, like I said, I didn't know anything about it. Didn't want to watch the trailer or anything, just to keep it. You know, if you don't watch anything ahead of time, it keeps the whole thing brand new to you. Oftentimes when you watch the trailers, you just feel like you got the whole movie already. It's like you got a lot of it given away in the trailer, and the less you know about it, the more you get out of it, in my mind. Um, but anyways, it's a good movie. Um, wasn't apparently it ended up kind of being somewhat of a more leaning towards a documentary, but I wouldn't let that like shy you away from seeing it because it was really it was really well done, really uh powerful. Like the thing is, this is different from other movies. Most movies, their purpose, their goal, it's just to keep you entertained, just to, you know, whatever, have your child sit still for an hour and a half or whatever. This isn't to entertain you. This isn't just random nonsense, just colors and loud noises on a screen for however long. Like, this is powerful. This is informative. Uh, Apparently, they say um, since 2001, the amount of people that believe in life after death, as in generally, heaven and hell, has went in half since then. Like, so many less people believe in heaven or hell, or that something could be after death, which is insane. What would be the purpose if we just went into nothingness after we died? But perhaps that's a whole other discussion. But it was a good movie. You know, I don't know if I'd recommend little kids seeing it because it did get a little. Well, yeah, I wouldn't recommend kids seeing it just because it does get a little intense, um, a little scary. But and they do like show like people on like doc or like having procedures and all that stuff. So uh it was a lot to there was a lot going on. But sorry guys, I'm like tired. It's been a long day. Uh we drove we were out of town like an hour away. That's where we saw the movie because we were out of town. But uh before we left, uh I tried starting the car, and it wasn't turning on. It was something was wrong with it, so we were kind of stuck there, and so it was a whole adventure. Perhaps too many details to get into, but we ended up having to get help from AAA, and they were able to jumpstart it, even though we had other people try to jumpstart it before that, but they must have did it wrong or something. One of them was this guy from who works at Lowe's there. He was super nice. He was super helpful. The AAA guy actually didn't have his uh, jumper cables with him for whatever reason. So the kid from Lowe's, uh, I had to bug him again and ask him if we could borrow his jumper cables to try again, and so the AAA guy used those. But anyways, enough of that. Uh, well, all that to say, I have to wonder if that was the enemy, just trying to mess with us to try to, keeping our car from going, you know, just because it's Halloween and, you know, having people loving God on Halloween. He's probably ticked off, and I don't know. But yeah, it was a good, powerful movie. I do wish they talked more clearly about heaven and hell. Like they go into that. Like they definitely, not to give too much away, but they definitely talk about people like seeing something greater and seeing God and talking to him, or people who went to hell, but they don't, some of the details they leave a little vague, and I I could be wrong, but I don't think they actually say that you need to be, you know, to believe that Jesus died for you on the cross, to believe in Jesus to go to heaven, which is a really, really important detail that you really cannot leave out of something like this. So I could be wrong, I might have missed something, but I don't think they really go into detail on that, which is weird. Like, this is made by Angel Studios, who made The Chosen, so I thought, you know, something like this they would be a little bit more clear about, especially with something so specifically about dying and coming back, you know. Uh, so yeah, it was. There was stuff like that where I just think I wouldn't say anything was bad about it, but there was definitely details that they could have been more clear about, or details that they didn't even have in that they probably should have, about, you know, being saved and all that, which is, you know, but otherwise, yeah, it was a great movie. I recommend it. Um, you know, if you're Christian, you're likely to get something good out of it. If you're not, you know, if you're not sure what you believe, it's certainly not pushing pushing stuff on you. Like, I think people that don't care about God are still gonna get something out of it. It's still gonna be enjoy it either way. Um, it's really, I don't know. Just check out the trailers. Maybe check out reviews if you want to. If you're still interested. If you're still listening to this video, listening to me ramble on them. It's been a really long day. I'm just tired. But yeah, thank God that we were able to get the car back on and get home safely. One thing that I thought was really interesting, that really stuck out to me in the movie, is how they talk about, um, normally when we're sleeping, that's when we dream. But people that come back from heaven, they talk about coming back to Earth almost as if Earth is the dream. Which, with if you understood how beautiful heaven is, and the way they describe it, it's like, I bet, I imagine, being on Earth feels like a dream, just because it's like, it being on heaven is what feels real. Like, that's what's real. You're more alert. You're more. All your senses are so heightened. It's so much more real. It's like, that is so cool. Like, I don't know that I ever thought about it that way, where Earth is the dream in a way. Also, one other thing, if you're still here, they talked about what it felt like to be going into heaven. And it was wild, because if you saw my video from a few days ago, where I had an actual dream about me being raptured, and how I described it as being like rocketed like thousands of miles, like almost instantly, into the sky, and all these lines around me. They weren't talking about the rapture, being raptured in the movie, but when talking about going to heaven, they actually described it pretty similar to that. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, wow. you know like, they literally used the word rocketed into heaven. Like, uh, the visuals they used were pretty similar. It was crazy. Oh man. I mean, that out of anything else, that might have been the part that like really just wowed me the most. I'm like, what do you even say to that? Love you guys. Pray you're doing well, and take care. I'll see ya.